I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
First, you're gonna tell me about this science stuff.
Sorry about that. What is a scientist?
You caught me like I'm experimenting with
Science!
It's like magic with electricity.
I know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you.
The smartest scientists in the entire world all agree
Science is a liar sometimes.
Seriously, this could not seem less scientific.
Those idiots don't know anything about science.
It's science.
I believe it's pronounced science.
This is the least scientific thing I've ever seen.
So I'm just experimenting with them.
You be quiet!
Thank you, scientists.
To the guys of science.
Hell yeah. Shit. Flubbed right out of the gate. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I suck.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I can't wait to constantly catch myself for talking over you.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. That's what we're into.
Yeah. What are you folks into? Call us at... I don't fucking know.
Shit. Imagine it live would be fucking... I can't imagine radio dudes back in the day or radio people back in the day.
Yeah, it's nonsense. Even with like the dump button and stuff like that, that only buys you
7 seconds.
A few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd have to be on every day. On top of all that, yeah.
I mean, if I didn't have a different job to do, I'm sure I'd much rather do that.
Yeah. I guess you get good at everything that you do over and over and over.
Yeah. I mean, we're at least 38 times better than we were the first episode.
Absolutely. And all I do is talk, so I just got better at talking. You got to do all the whatever other buttons you push. I know there's button pushing involved.
There are several buttons to be pushed. There's a couple of levers. There is one pulley as well.
Still got a pulley.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it burns out the traps a bit, but you know it's a good burn. So
all right.
It's worth it.
Right. Sometimes elbow grease is the only way to get her done.
Absolutely. Get that really engage my trunk, you know, while I'm pulling it.
Yeah.
Really lock my knees and jerk my back. Just really make sure I'm doing it correctly.
That is solid form. Lift with your back.
Yeah. Always Sunny. Charlie and Mac are carrying a pool table. This is like season 2, 3 the most.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't move it. Mac's like, Charlie, are your knees locked? He goes, they're locked. Are you using your back to lift? He's like, I am jerking my back as hard as I can.
Sounds about right.
Fantastic.
So,
what else is fantastic?
What are we talking about? Okay, so today's episode is about Marie Curie. However, I think it's French, right? So I think we're going to say Curie and butcher it as Americans.
Yeah. Well, what's fun is, like, even before one of my favorite things right out of the gate is that I've always said her name with a French accent because Curie is a French name. And then one of the first things to find out is that she was born in Poland. And if she's not French, then what else is historically inaccurate about young Einstein?
Oh boy, that's true. I think there's a few historical inaccuracies in that movie.
Are you sure that's not the only one? They somebody just got by somebody when they were writing it.
I can think of at least one other one. Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a deep dive.
All right. I'll watch that fucking movie.
All right. But before we get into Marie Curie, though, I wanted to talk about Tupac.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, completely going the other way. One song in particular I was listening to earlier today. You know the song "Toss It Up"?
Not by name. I might know the beat.
Jodeci's singing in it. It's like I guess a faster paced kind of dancey song, and it's a good song, but it for whatever reason makes me think of, in my imagination, this song is probably what hanging out with Tupac was like, and it's kind of terrifying. So it starts out with like a club beat, like you'd be dancing with, this is a party, everybody's having a good time. He's talking about, girls and whatever, typical hip hop kind of stuff. And then the middle is a long, I don't know if it's Jodeci or Casey and JoJo at that point. I don't know when the transition happened as far as it relates to that song, but each one of them has like their own verse. Like it's a long middle thing with them singing. Oh, wow. And it's still a party song. Still everyone having a good time. We're talking about girls, hotel rooms, all that kind of good stuff. And then the second Tupac verse starts, and it sounds like he's going that way. He's talking about give me a number, I get around, like the usual. And then out of nowhere, he's like, oh, by the way, fuck you, Dr. Dre. And goes on this wild tangent about how Dre's not allowed back in Compton. And like, and then the song ends. It's still Jodeci singing their piece. And Tupac is doing his in the background talking trash and still talking trash. Like, yeah, I read that magazine interview. You're talking peace. Nah, there's no peace. But like, like he's really out of nowhere turned on a dime. So I pictured like, can you imagine? That's probably hanging out with Tupac at a party. Like everyone's having a good time on the dance floor. And then all of a sudden he just flips on someone and he's in somebody's face. And everyone that was dancing is now just turning, standing, facing each other. And it's fucking terrifying. That was every night for Death Row Records, probably.
Oh my God. That sounds so exhausting. Even at the age where you might have been able to convince me that it would be a good time, that still sounds exhausting, and I don't want to deal with any of it.
Yeah, right. I mean, oh, fuck, here we go again.
No, just let him get it out. If you cut him off, he's gonna start over.
Right. Back him, just stand 3 back, so it looks like you're still there on his side, but you're not in it, like in that line of people that have his back. Stand a couple rows deep. Like, no, I was there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, not trying to be on the front line of that.
Yeah.
I don't like being on the front line of anything.
Yeah. It's usually where we have to do the most. That's what it boils down to. I don't want to do all that shit, whatever it is. Yeah.
No. Even if he was just aggressively talking about helping people move, I'd just be like, come on, man.
Yeah.
We just help people move today. Can we just enjoy the evening? Pac.
Right.
Please.
Yeah. So, yeah, I figured I would relate that story.
It's a fun visual.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fun...
like, especially because the party music is still going on, but like now his shit is serious and people are going to kill each other soon. But
yeah,
it's like, what happened? I thought I was talking to him and she was over here dancing and nope.
Yeah, like if you've ever been at a crowded party and you're walking through and you just, it just sounds like yelling everywhere. Everybody's yelling, having a good time. And then it's like, oh, that yelling sounds different.
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit different, that yelling. And then you get a little closer and you see that there's a lot of emphatic hand gestures. And it's like, okay.
And the yelling is coming from 2 distinct sides. There's somehow sides have been aligned and yeah.
And they appear to be, now they're looking at each other. Okay, great. That's awesome.
Funny kind of transition. I can't remember if you were in the bathroom at the CBGB's downstairs at that party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost called it the Clutch Show, but then I remembered, nope, that was just us.
Yeah. It was us. Yes,
just rocking out the Clutch with our mouths.
Yeah, there was no music. So it was an old CBGB's. It was downstairs. It was a private party. Everything was cool. We were hanging out, people were drinking, it was a normal thing. There was an unused bathroom in the back where people used to go to smoke, so we went in there, and a couple of us went and had a little cipher going, and we're singing Clutch with our just making mouth noises and singing the various songs. And,
yeah, just like bow now 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 bow now.
Yeah,
like that is no exaggeration. That is exactly how it went.
Yeah, and it was probably 15-20 minutes of that, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got done. We walked out to a fucking war zone. Like it was chairs flipped, broken bottles, broken glass. Like, what the fuck happened while we were in there just doing Clutch noises with our mouths?
And the one friend who wasn't in there with us was asleep on the couch and slept through all of it.
He slept through everything, which is impressive in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jealous. I can't sleep through anything.
No. Especially not peeing. But I digress. I guess that's what happens as you get old and you start to break down. Maybe there's there's some kind of radioactivity connection here. I'm trying to swing us back in. I don't know how you go from Death Row Records back to Marie Curie, but
yeah, I got nothing.
She was fucking gangster in her own way, though.
Yeah, there you go. Nice recovery.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. I guess we have a video, correct?
We do, in fact. It is on the TED-Ed channel. It is The Genius of Marie Curie by Shohini Ghose. You think I said that right?
Yep.
ShohiniGhose.
Definitely.
Yeah, I guess without any further ducks. Well, I leaned into the mic that time. That's what happened. Instead of further away. Hold on, let me get this cough. Alrighty. Let me do this real quick. I'll do. Alright, that's right. I lowered the volume, so I will.
Damn, this sounds dope already.
If you want a glimpse of Marie Curie's manuscripts, you'll have to sign a waiver and put on.
Every time I see or hear have to sign a waiver, I think of the fucking goddamn Bare Naked Ladies song. Just have to sign a waiver.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just in there forever.
Poor you.
Yeah. Sucks.
I never think of that song, and it's great.
It's going to creep in there now.
Yeah, thank you. Damn it.
Anytime. First werewolf bar mitzvah, now this.
Werewolf bar mitzvah I'm down with, though. I like thinking of that. Spooky, scary.
I remember thinking the words, I had the words wrong. I thought it was boys becoming men, men becoming wolves.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
I think it's wolves becoming men, men becoming wolves.
Oh,
so
okay.
Back and forth. I was like,
gotcha.
All right.
Yeah, I thought it was the step up, the boys becoming men. That's the bar mitzvah. Men becoming wolves. That's the werewolf.
Right. But
okay.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It's like tricky. A Berenstein Bears situation. Berenstain. Yeah.
Quick fact about that song. So they only recorded like a tiny bit for 30 Rock because that's what it was on originally. Okay. And Donald Glover wrote for 30 Rock. Childish Gambino community Donald Glover. And he wrote the rest of the song, like he wrote lyrics for all of it. And a lot of the Tracy Morgan you hear is him doing a Tracy Morgan impression.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a very good impression.
It's fucking dead on. Like the stuff in the middle, like when they're talking back and forth, he's like, "No, Trey, that's not what it like that." That's him using his own voice, and then that's him doing a Tracy Morgan impression.
That's impressive. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, that fella's talented.
Agreed.
Anyway, 14 seconds into the video, 5 of which was a title card.
Radiation contamination. Madame Curie's remains, too, were interred in a lead-lined coffin, keeping the radiation that was the heart of her research and likely the cause of her
death
nuts.
Well contained.
Yeah.
Growing up in Warsaw, in Russian-occupied Poland...
Just that her bones are still radioactive, or not anymore? Probably, right?
Still, probably, yeah.
Holy
whatever
shit.
she was working with, the half-life. I mean, if her notes, even like her notebook, you gotta.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Holy shit.
This might kill. If you read this raw dog, you might die. That's crazy.
I mean, I guess we know the answer now, like officially. I mean, so that's what this video is all about. That's right. It's that she proved that just because you get radioactive doesn't mean you're going to be a superhero, like or zombie. Like she would have. That's the whole reason she did all this, right? Was to prove that you can't be zombies from radioactivity.
Either that or it was Superman. I don't know which. No. Why she did this? I guess I don't know. If they don't tell us here, I guess it was just because this was what she was.
It was. Yeah, they
super into.
Didn't realize the magnitude of the amount of radiation she was getting, because it was still.
Yeah.
Like I was like that other article that I sent you, just like this is right around the same time as that or just before that, where everybody in Victorian England was dyeing their stuff green because people had like lamplight instead of gaslight or something like that, or the other way around.
Okay.
So people were starting to wear colors out at night because you could actually see them.
Oh, wow.
But there was a ton of arsenic in all the paint that they were dyeing their dresses with, so people just started dropping dead left and right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like crazy, but deteriorating because they're dying slowly of being poisoned.
Yeah, fashion over function.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of happened with lead too, right? Because lead was in all the paint and lead was in the friggin' gas. So we were driving and putting lead into the air and people getting sick. Lead poisoning.
Yeah. See, I was like, they were so dumb back then. That shit, they just got rid of that when I was alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Barely alive.
Like there was an option. There was leaded and unleaded gas when we were younger. Now it's just everything's unleaded. But yeah, you get both. We weaned off it. But I mean, for what you were saying, like as far as knowing about this kind of like, she kind of coined the term radioactive. Like it wasn't even, she invented the word. So no, they had no idea that this kind of stuff could happen.
Yeah.
She figured it out.
The hard way.
She was like, this is doing something.
Just every day, just yelling out the door of her lab. Guys, it's happening again.
It keeps doing it.
Oh man. There we go.
The young Marie, originally named Maria Skłodowska, was a brilliant student, but she faced some challenging barriers. As a woman, she was barred from pursuing higher education, so, in an act of defiance, Marie enrolled in the Floating University, a secret institution that provided.
All right, so
clandestine
that series of
education
sentences
for
right there. The floating institute, is that what it's called, or the floating university? Like like the Red Room from the the what's her name movie? Oh goddamn, why can't I remember her name? The Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett, yeah.
That one.
Black Widow.
There's the one.
Yeah.
And clandestine just further drove that home, because clandestine is almost never used in a positive light. It's usually, anytime you hear that, you're like, oh, bad shit's going on.
Right. And this almost has the makings of a superhero origin story, and then working with radioactivity and all that. Like, but it doesn't end there, but
Yeah.
Clandestine.
Like, you'll never hear Machiavellian used with in a positive light, right? Like, there's no way to do that unless you're tricking. Well,
unless I guess we're talking about Tupac, but
and even then, we just explained what it was like to be at a party with him at any given moment. So
frightening.
But yeah, I guess with Machiavellian, is that just manipulative, or does it also mean manipulative with ill intent?
It kind of implies a climb for power in a way, right?
That was kind of his.
I don't know if that's like, because I never read anything by him, so I think that's just kind of like the connotation that has evolved over time.
Yeah, like do whatever it takes kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Draconian is definitely bad. Like, there's no getting around that one. Draconian is like, oh fuck, there's some bad shit going on.
Does that tie to Dracula? Is that like the same root? Those two words come from the same root word, do you think? Because
they definitely do. Because I think I'm almost positive the name Dracula is like, it's dragon. Like, the word dragon is rooted, or the word dragon is involved in there somewhere, or at least it sounds like I know what I'm talking
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I remember that from one of the movies, though. And so clandestine education to Polish youth.
But but before we go further, how do people find out about secret organizations and shit? Like, I never, like, if I was like, this is what I want to do, and people were like, no, I'd be like, all right. Like, all these good stories of people going places, it's always, and they said no, and they found this. Where, if it's clandestine, however you pronounce that word, how do you find that? Like, I don't even know how to get a fucking Tor browser so I can use the dark web, let alone I don't. How do you figure this shit out? Who let you in?
You could totally be lying to me that that's how you get there, and I'd believe you.
Well, there's no Google. Like, as far as all you need is a certain type of browser, and you can get to the dark web. There's just no Google. You have to know where you're going. You need to know the addresses and stuff. So it's like, who tells you?
Yeah, where do you get those?
I have no fucking idea. Which is why I've never been. Well, there's other reasons I don't go on the dark web too, because it's fucking scary. But yeah, but I wouldn't know where to go anyway.
Do you see the commercials that they have where they're definitely trying to scare the older half of the populace? Your information could be on the dark web. It's like, if it's on the dark web, it's already too fucking late. They sell fucking people there.
Right,
we can get your social security number back, but we can't save all those fucking children that are being sold every day.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
So I was at a security conference, because that's what my day job. So there's a guy whose job it is. He actually is an undercover agent, basically, on the dark web, where he gets in with groups and gets into different forums and all this stuff just to gather information. Like, he's not trying to blow his cover to bust anybody. He's just gathering all the information he can and pass it along to whatever government organization that he works for. But he showed some of the things that you can encounter on there. And there was a list of things that you could do to people and the prices for them. And there were things such as break their knee or just jump them, to actually ordering a hit or ordering people things stolen from them, or like all this stuff. And there were the regular people prices, and then there were the celebrity people prices. So it was like, you had to pay more if you wanted a stranger to go mug a celebrity. But you could literally, through the dark web, order a hit on somebody. It's not cheap, but there would be no trace back to you. It would be a complete stranger.
Holy shit. And now, even with the guy collecting all the intel, like, what can they even do with that? Because they can't trace the person that's there, right? You can't get like IP addresses and shit, right?
I guess you can try to shut down wallets, like the Bitcoin wallets and stuff like that. I don't know. Or try to somehow convince people to misstep and, let their guard down and let you in on something.
All right.
I don't know.
Shut down wallets, by the way. New Raekwon album.
I like it.
Any word in front of the plural of wallet is a Raekwon album name. All right. Back to the clandestine education.
By saving money and working as a governess and tutor, she eventually was able to move to Paris to study at the reputed Sorbonne. There, Marie earned both a physics and mathematics degree, surviving largely on bread and tea, and sometimes near starvation.
Yeah, right until the wheels fall off almost.
Yeah, like, that's why I'm like, anytime I hear shit like that or read shit like that or watch a video and someone says something like that, it's like, oh man, I have no fucking drive.
Yeah, right.
I have no fucking drive at all. Like, like if I'm hungry, it's just like, oh, cool. All right, well then I'll just stop doing the thing that I'm doing because I can just go eat.
Yeah, I've been waiting for me to get hungry because I've been dying to go eat. I enjoy that and what I couldn't wait to stop doing this thing to eat.
Every 15, 20 minutes looking down at my stomach, just going, what the fuck, man? Come on.
Wake up.
Not even so much as a growl out of you. Come on, bro.
And they're like, come on, Marie, you got to eat. She's like, no, I'm trying to earn my second degree. I had a piece of bread. Shut up.
All right, well, at least have this tea. Fine.
Yeah. She's writing 2 papers at the same time, one with each hand.
It's like, all right, somebody invent the straw so I can keep writing these 2 papers out at the same time.
In Paris, Marie met the physicist Marie Curie, who shared his lab
Aww.
and his heart with her. But she longed to go back in Poland. Upon her return to Warsaw, though, she found that securing an academic position
Poland's still a dick.
challenge. All was not lost. Back in Paris, the lovelorn Pierre was waiting, and the pair quickly married and became a formidable scientific team.
So in the comments in this, let's see if I can see it too. No, it's not close enough that I can just go find it. But somebody wrote that quote about shared his lab and his heart with her.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wrote a comment about it. It's like, yep, that quote, gotta find me a man like that. And I just was like, oh, like just rolling my eyes and was like, I'm not gonna be a dick.
I was like, you've never been inside a fucking lab. Shut up. Find me a man like that. How about you master 2 disciplines? That's what she did. She earned a man like that.
Yeah.
I guess, and he was fucking lucky. He fell into the jackpot, rode her coattails right to a Nobel.
Yeah,
Sure, come on in and study with me.
He Ben Affleck'd his way to the like Affleck to a Goodwill Hunting Oscar. So too did Pierre Curie win a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, and another dude too.
Yeah,
he was like, "I'll drive."
Another physicist's work sparked Marie Curie's interest. In 1896, Henri Becquerel discovered that uranium spontaneously emitted a mysterious X-ray-like radiation that could
All right.
interact with photographic
So my question is that who are we making fun of at that point for that sentence? An X-ray like radiation. Was X-rays invented yet?
That's a good question.
Were
so radiation?
discovered?
I don't
Invented? I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, radiation. The idea of something radiating.
Mhm.
Yes, that existed.
Okay.
X-rays. So that's just on the spectrum. That had to have been. So what year was this? Did it say?
1890 something, right?
1890. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's before Einstein is doing his thing, right?
Yeah. Einstein was... I remember looking that up as well because I wanted to know how far apart they were in age, her and Einstein. Just because I was like, no way young Einstein's wrong about three things. That they were the same age. They were like 30 years apart in age.
Okay.
I think at least 25. I'll 25 is the floor. Final offer.
Yeah, so I mean, we didn't have Einstein proving the photon and stuff like that yet. So I mean, they may have had X-rays. I honestly don't know, but that might also be a way of us describing something with words that we know that they didn't know at the time. I don't know.
Okay, all right. You just bought them out because ultimately all this nonsense was me being a stickler about English. So
okay, that's my favorite part, though.
Curie soon found that the element thorium emitted similar radiation. Most importantly, the strength of the radiation depended solely on the element's quantity and was not affected by physical or chemical changes. This led her to conclude that radiation was coming from something fundamental within the atom.
I did not know that specific fact until I watched this video this morning for the first time. I had no idea that the radiation was coming from within the atoms.
Yes. This is the weak nuclear force. So it wasn't, quantum, wasn't quantum physics, quantum mechanics. None of that was a thing yet. So they didn't know exactly what this was. But yeah, that's one of the four fundamental forces of nature, actually, this radiation.
And what are they doing this with just microscopes and shit? Like nothing crazy really as far as
like how they detect it?
Yeah, like stuff to observe it with.
Yeah, I guess they would, like the one guy had a certain type of paper that picked it up.
Oh, right. Yeah, that whole thing. That whole me getting mad about X-rays thing. Okay.
Right. But yeah, they have stuff like that, I'm sure. It's, if they had the paper, they must have had X-rays then, right?
Yeah, but they were already, was it photography paper?
I don't know.
Because then that would... I feel like we would have heard a lot more about just people just dying getting their picture taken, and not because it took 5 hours.
Yeah, slow cancer.
Where are we at here? So, from within the element.
The idea was radical and helped to disprove the long-standing model of atoms as indivisible objects. Next, by focusing on a super radioactive ore called pitchblende, the Curies realized that uranium alone couldn't be creating all the radiation.
So, the atomic bomb is born out of this stuff.
This is one of the this is a few rungs on the ladder before that get up to that point. But yeah, it's one of the first times that they noticed that okay, the atom is not indivisible like we thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like so this is 1890s to within
30s, 40s,
years,
yeah.
within 50 years of them figuring atoms can be split. I say they.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they. I wasn't born yet,
All
so I
of
don't
them.
count as American
Yeah.
in that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, went from that to melting 2 cities to the fucking ground.
Yeah, fuck.
Like that's the other thing. So that fact and the Wright brothers was what 1903.
I don't know.
Something
But that sounds right. Early 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1903 first flight is not that long, and in less than 50 years, they're dropping a bomb that they made out of that research out of a plane that they just came up with, like less than 50 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, that's those two inventions combined. Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
And of course, it would lead to that. Like, do you know how many people we can kill with this? And someone was just itching to drop it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's fucked.
Anywho, on that cheery note.
Yeah, right.
So, were there other radioactive elements that might be responsible? In 1898, they reported 2 new elements: polonium, named for Marie's native Poland, and radium, the Latin word for ray. They also coined the term radioactivity along the way. By 1902, the Curies had extracted 1/10 of a gram of.
Now, does that mean it took them 4 years to extract that 1/10 of a gram from 1898 to 1902? Or by 1902, they had figured out how to do this and it extracted that much?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it means to extract it either. Is it like they had that pitch blend and they let it radioactively decay in a certain way to get that radium or whatever it was, the salt that was... I don't know. That's actually a good question, and I don't know the answer to it.
Radium chloride salt.
I like, though, in this video, the picture is her holding this glowing thing barehanded.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Like,
a lot
probably,
of that going on.
Yeah. That probably is how it went down. Yeah, look at this fucking thing.
Yeah, even in the trailer for the show you sent me about her had had her just holding like a jar of radium.
Yeah. Which I can't believe that, and it's an old show. It's like a couple years old. Some show about Marie Curie.
Oh, so you led with, and the actress's name is in it. I forgot it already.
Oh, Rosamund Pike.
Yeah. So I didn't remember who it was, and then I was watching it, and I was like, oh, her, and I was like, this is a fucking really deep cut of a fucking, well, not really, but a decent, like it's not, it's probably like a C-level celebrity, realistically. Like,
Rosa.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of hers because she's in the Wheel of Time show, which is my favorite books.
Well, that was the next part. I was like, this motherfucker's pulling deep pulls like this lady. What the fuck else is she in? And I was like, oh, Wheel of Time. Okay, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. That explains it.
She was also in Doom.
Was she really?
Yeah.
I've never seen Doom.
Fucking terrible.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I saw Gone Girl and she was good in that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
She was a good crazy lady in that one.
Yeah, that movie, to Affleck's credit, it was much better than expected. He was better than expected. So.
Yeah.
Good on you, Benifer.
He plays a pretty good piece of shit.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, that hair slicks back real nice.
I said, used to be. That's what he said as Batman.
Yeah.
I used to be a piece of shit.
Itty bitty jeans. chicken spaghetti and chickalinis.
Batmobiles living for Joker's ass. Beating Joker's ass. I forgot a word there. Yeah.
Boy, that one word makes it a very different sentence.
What are you doing, Batman? Don't look, people of Gotham.
Did I ever tell you how I got these scars? Fun fact about that. So the whole weird like tongue flicking thing that he does like through a lot of the movie, Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That is keeping his prosthetics in place. Because they keep coming loose on him, so he's just doing that to keep like the scar makeup.
Okay.
Yeah, and it ends up looking extra creepy. Like it just worked. Because I remember watching, it's like, why do they keep fucking doing that? It's weird.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be weird.
Yeah.
Or at least it ended up being a good weird. Yeah.
Anyway, by 1902, the Curies had extracted 1/10 of a gram of pure radium chloride salt.
Right.
From several tons of pitchblende, an incredible feat at the time. Later that year, Pierre Curie and Henri Becquerel were nominated for the Nobel Prize in Physics, but Marie was overlooked. Pierre took a stand in support of his wife's well-earned recognition. And so both of the Curies and Becquerel shared the 1903
All right, we'll give her one,
Nobel
but she can't have it by herself.
All right. Everybody was just an asshole. Like, why? She's like, she figured this. She's holding the shit that nobody else had been able to do. Bear. She's like, here, I got it. It's that salt that, yeah. And like, all right, well, but you're not allowed in. Like, what the fuck?
We can't give you this. You're not allowed to own anything.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And they're like, Pierre, can you please do something with probably called her uppity. Like, oh, here she goes again. A little uppity. Like, all right, asshole.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, so they all got the Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
King Marie Curie, the first female Nobel.
She's got a couple Nobel records.
Yeah.
Well-funded and well-respected, the Curies were on a roll. But tragedy struck in 1906 when Pierre was crushed by a horse-drawn cart.
At this, initially, I was like, how are you getting hit by a horse-drawn cart?
Sorry to laugh at it, but yeah.
But then I started to like, all right, so they even had horse-drawn carts for like 1,000 years at this point, if not more. Right? Didn't Jesus ride in on a chariot into something? No, he rode into something on a
donkey or something.
But yeah, they definitely had horse-drawn carts.
The fucking Romans had their chariots. Like, no, this is not. Yeah,
bullshit.
How busy was this intersection? Did he get like jostled around? He's like, he can't move, and then the cart comes. Like, how do you? Or was it going that fast? And
even then, like,
first?
he was like, well, busy intersection. Like, then there's traffic, right? So nobody should be moving that fast.
That's true too.
I mean, the only I hate to say pro because it's the only reason that's in favor of why he died that way. But I mean, to be fair, like getting hit by a car is one thing. The car doesn't have its own brain yet.
Yeah,
like, horse just could have got fucking. Like he could have just been near a horse, and the horse probably.
There you go. It might have gotten spooked and just took off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ran
all right.
Down.
I was going to say, this brilliant scientist can't handle crossing the street, but that's fair. If all of a sudden the car just started speeding up, and you're like, "Oh, what's going on?" and through a light or something like that, what are you going to do?
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know if he was writing text on his hand and not paying attention as he crossed the street, or
Yeah, his head was in his notes.
yeah. And there's always the whole book smart, yes, street smart, no kind of thing. Tutoring kind of smarts.
Yeah.
The streets ain't for your fancy book learning, fella. These are the mean streets.
Yeah, watch out. That's what the horse is talking to him. You say, motherfucker?
All right. We probably made fun of the way this guy died for long enough.
Yeah. Sorry, Pierre.
Marie, devastated, immersed herself in her research and took
Wait,
over
pause it
Pierre's
again.
teaching position at the Sorbonne,
Mhm.
becoming
Awesome.
Becoming
the first female professor or whatever, but that's pretty crazy. Like, I know she's brilliant, so there was probably a hiring process and all that kind of stuff. But imagine, like, if I died and my wife was like, all right, I'll be the new IT auditor. It's like, it doesn't work. You don't just step into my role.
Again, that sounds more like origin story stuff.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's like her story is everything leading up to what makes a superhero, but then the reality of radiation sets in and there's no fun powers.
Yeah. With his last breath, Pierre said, I pass the mantle along to you.
Yeah.
You're the man.
He told
now,
the horse. Told my horse, tell my wife.
See, I knew we weren't done making fun of him.
Nope.
Her solo work was fruitful. In 1911, she won yet another Nobel, this time in chemistry for her earlier discovery of radium and polonium, and her extraction and analysis of pure radium and its compounds.
Wait, hang on one more second. That might be a...
This made her the first, and to this date only, person to win Nobel Prizes in two different sciences.
So, I believe they
Professor
just
Curie-
said in there that it was they gave her that for her old work. Like for the stuff that she did, like by discovering those two.
And I guess how they influenced chemistry also.
Okay.
I think she did some other stuff with like extracting uranium but it was basically the same thing that she was doing, and it was some of her previous stuff too.
Do you think this was like a payback Nobel, like the same way that Scorsese won Best Director for The Departed? Like, that wasn't his best. But it was like, all right, this is long overdue, and you're definitely getting it. But like,
right, it's probably as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, but also realistically, like, she did do all of this stuff, so, and like, especially with it influencing not unforeseen stuff.
That's what I think. It's more about that. It's that, wow, she figured all this stuff out for physics, and then a couple years down the road, it was like, holy shit! Not only that, but it relates to chemistry too. Like, they didn't even know other people didn't realize the benefits until long later.
Well, they are scientists, so we can say we didn't realize.
That's true. Yeah, we didn't know.
We had no idea.
We didn't know. Yeah.
What's that thing I was going to ask? I have no idea. So,
it was about her being like champ, basically.
yeah, no, it's
two belts.
Exactly. Yeah, she has the heavyweight and the intercontinental belts right now, and retired with them and went to a different federation.
Yeah, first ever, and yeah, nobody can come for the crown.
Put her discoveries to work, changing the landscape of medical research and treatments. She opened mobile radiology units during World War I and investigated radiation's effects on tumors. However, these benefits
I was just gonna
to
say
humanity may
it's
have come at a high personal cost.
you don't see too many mobile radiology units anymore, do you?
No, not very
They're
often.
like, maybe we should keep these inside, and they shouldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it should be surrounded by lead.
It's like when it's like when one of your kids tries to bring out like a really grabs a really fancy glass, tries to bring it outside. It's like, no, this isn't for outside. This doesn't go outside. No, put
Right.
it back.
Yeah.
Put it back. Good.
We use this at the table only. Yeah.
Curie died in 1934 of a bone marrow disease, which many today think was caused by her radiation exposure.
Like
Marie
they can,
Curie's revolutionary research laid the
they could
groundwork.
probably exhume her body, right?
I guess they
If
could.
they wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to
there's
figure it out,
probably-
like they could do it if they wanted to. Like it wasn't challenging. them,
Right.
it was-
Like if they were curious and wanted to really study it to find out how she died, I imagine they could.
Yeah, what's in them bones? What you got in them bones? Let's find out.
Groundwork for our understanding of physics and chemistry, blazing trails in oncology, technology, medicine, and nuclear physics, to name a few.
Yeah, that's
For good or ill, her discoveries in radiation launched a new era.
It's like all the
unearthing
things.
Some of science's
Right.
greatest
Like
secrets.
the stuff she did helped all the things happen.
Yeah, it was like one of the main dominoes, one of the major dominoes that then branched off into other little domino chains, kind of.
Yeah.
You know how they do that?
That's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's got a few more seconds in this one. Oh, nope, that was it. It was just an eye-opening back
That's
up.
the end. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, pretty wild shit.
Yeah. I mean, the oncology stuff, obviously, that touches a personal note. So, in a sense, like, if she didn't discover all this stuff, like the amount of people who have been saved from radiation, after they found tumors and shit like that, is, I mean, at great personal cost. She kind of laid herself on the landmine for everybody else.
Like, so how does, like, what do they use for radiation treatments? Like, what chemical do they use?
I don't even think it's a chemical. I think it's some type of particle that they're aiming at the tumor and shooting in a way to kind of get it to.
I'm getting them. I'm getting them mixed up. What's the radiation treatment is with machines, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
chemo is the one with the drug.
Right. Okay, got it mixed up.
That's all right.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. So I guess they're just isolating whatever particle of, but it's got to come from an element, right?
I guess so. That's probably why it's in such. I don't know if they're using uranium or radium or what, but they have to have something that they're getting this particle off of whatever and using that to beam it at the tumor.
Radiation oncology element is radium 223, one of several.
It is radium. Okay.
Radioisotopes.
So, and that's one that Marie Curie literally discovered.
Yeah, she
It was
discovered
her and her husband discovered that radium.
that element. And then
So that's huge.
Yeah. And the other element that they mentioned, not the polonium, the other one, which they didn't discover, uranium. There we go. That one's used for atomic bombs, right? It's like uranium 238, I believe.
I don't know the number, but I think uranium and plutonium are the ones that are easily weaponizable.
235, 238. Yeah, that's there's a local band on Staten Island called Uranium 238. That's why
Oh, okay.
It's the only reason I retained it. Not from chemistry. I don't remember anything from that.
Right. That's always the hardest one to me, chemistry.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Even physics still like it's so I ended up with Audible premium because I was trying to download a book, and then I ended up getting backed up and not canceling it in time, so I had a couple of credits to get rid of. So I downloaded the Kip Thorne book.
Okay.
The science behind Interstellar, and it's just
sweet.
Yeah, and it comes with a PDF too, so you can look at diagrams while he's talking about shit in different chapters.
Okay.
But it's neat stuff. But I knew for a fact that this is going to be fantastic to sleep to, because once he starts going into formulas and like kind of like almost saying word problems out loud, I was like, that's gonna knock me right the fuck out.
It's starting to get confusing.
Yeah, it's been doing its job. My brain just goes, nope, fuck it.
Shut her down.
Yeah. I'll try to remind you of everything terrible that's ever happened in your life tomorrow.
Oh, that's such a tangent, but that's the worst when you're laying there, you're almost asleep, and you're like, remember that time in 4th grade when that kid said something and you said the stupidest thing possible, and it's like, God damn it, yeah, I remember it, but I was trying to sleep, but now I'm going to stress about that. So, thanks.
Oh God, it's the worst. It's the worst. It's like, hey, I know you're about to start dreaming, but let's look at the greatest hits from 1998. Oh, God.
Remember that live with no regrets thing? Here's some regrets.
You don't always get them immediately. Some of them take a while to grow.
Right.
Those are the strong ones.
Right. Those are the ones you didn't realize how cringy you were at the time.
Yeah.
It's only looking back. Yeah. Needless to say, I was kind of a lot.
What was the... Oh, back to the show Radioactive. Nail on the head. British show, or British people, or it's Amazon, so yeah, it's American. I for some reason I was going to say BBC.
Yeah, I think it's for America, but was it filmed in a BBC studio or was it Amazon studio? Because everyone
Amazon.
is British.
Yeah,
okay.
Amazon.
Okay. But yeah.
It's like the everybody in ancient Greece and ancient Rome were also British. Was
a story about a Polish gal and a French guy, and fuck it, they all have a British accent because Americans are stupid, and that just means not from here.
Well, I don't know nobody talking like that round where I come from.
Right. Where from I come.
Quick sidebar on this. My brother, myself, and my brother's now wife, but at the time girlfriend, were at my grandparents' house upstate. And there was a yard sale going on next door. And just sounded like people next door. And then you just heard one dude real loud go, man, you better hope in the hell you ain't. It was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Right. Yeah, there's a before and after to that story. I would like.
Also, speaking of British accents for stuff, I was listening to a Jim Jeffries interview, and he was talking about he auditioned for what's that called? The Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus. Are you familiar? Do you remember it?
I've seen it actually.
Okay, so do you remember Kumail Nanjiani's part, where he was like the guy that was like getting people through to Pakistani guy?
Okay. It was like helping smuggle people, kind of.
There was the word I was looking for. Yeah,
Okay.
getting people in and out.
Yeah.
Was the part he auditioned for.
Oh, okay.
And because the guy's like tricking people and like he's not being totally honest, so he used a British accent for the audition until he got caught, and then the acting choice he made was, I'll use me regular accent to show that he's like
right. This was a front the whole time, and now letting his guard down is the real me.
None of the people at the audition got that choice. they're like, I don't. Even when he explained it, they were like, yeah, like, I don't know. It didn't sound. They didn't like the way it sounded, and when he pressed him for it, and he's like, "There's no Australian people in outer space. You're only allowed to be British."
Which is the stupidest friggin' thing, and that's actually Bill Burr, because he's in a couple of those. What was he in, The Mandalorian? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in an interview, he was saying, because he speaks like he speaks with the Boston accent and everything like that, and nerds give him shit about it, and he's like, "What? Like, you have no problem with the fact that these people or whatever can fly planet to planet throughout the different places in this galaxy, and they all speak the same language, and they all have this, like, it's just, I guess Wookiees go, oh, and some people understand that in English, but everything else speaks the same language. Yeah. They only have a problem because nobody has a Boston accent in space." Yeah, it's the stupidest fucking thing. Like, you already bought into this. Don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars, but let's be honest, it's a fucking stupid kids show, basically. Like, it's, a lot of it is nostalgia from watching it when you were growing up. You show it to people who never saw Star Wars before, and they watch it now, they think it's stupid.
Yeah. And I remember thinking it and saying it, but it's a low hanging fruit. But I didn't know that there was a space Boston in Star Wars. But yeah, there's memes all over Twitter. I was like, yeah, it's obvious. Joke.
Yeah. Because he is the first one to have that accent in any kind of Star Wars thing. But yeah, at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, we're okay with, we already bought in to whatever. Like, you're already suspending your disbelief, because there's so many things that you could easily destroy that disbelief if you think about it for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah. Back to Marie Curie for a little bit. I'm going to bring up two other little things that are both came out of radium being used.
Okay.
Uranium glass or radium glass? Yeah, radium glass. So they make glass with either uranium or radium in it, and I'll share it on the screen so you can see it. But folks at home, Google it on your own. Screen.
It's www.google.com for those who are not familiar with
there you go.
The search engine.
This is uranium glass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like mixed in when they make the glass, which I guess it's contained, but it still kind of glows green. Like that's not lit at all.
It looks like this is going to be a deep cut. I don't know if anyone's going to get this, but the sequel to Wizard of Oz, Return to Oz.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And all the things that her friends were in that room that they were transformed into objects, and she had to pick the objects to, get the lion and the scarecrow and all them.
Holy fuck.
That's what all the objects were green, and that's kind of what they look like. These uranium things. Yeah.
Holy shit. Man, I was not planning about thinking about that today.
I retain the weirdest shit. I really do.
Jesus. But yeah, they still make this shit. You're still allowed to buy it. Between just before during World War II and then up until the end of the Cold War, you weren't allowed to make any new shit because it was considered an asset for making weapons and shit. But they in 1986 they let people start making it again, and people make it from time to time still.
Does it can you get sick?
I don't know. I didn't look that far into it. I never. As you could probably tell, I never look at the bad side of stuff. I just kind of like, wow, this looks cool. Let's do it. What's it? There is no looking.
It does look cool.
There is no looking before I leap.
Yeah. It's very cool, but yeah, I am leery to drink out of a glass.
Certainly.
Yeah, radioactive things.
And then the other things, Radium Girls. The Radium Girls. That is female factory workers who contracted radiation poison because they were using paint that contained radium. This was in not that long ago. This is 1917.
Oh wow!
That's when the factory was started. And so they were using radium paint because it glowed green, just like these. And it, the chemists who made the paint all wore protective shit, but all the women who worked in the factory, they just gave them tiny, short paintbrushes. And just,
bikinis.
Yeah. Here you go. They let them finger paint these watches. But yeah, they ended up poisoning a lot of women, and a lot of them died, and they were able to sue the pants off them.
Well, silver lining, I guess. But
yeah,
Jesus,
at what cost?
Yeah.
1917 to 1926. $0.015 per dial on the watch, earning them $3.75 for painting 250 dials per shift, which is the equivalent of $86 in 2022.
Damn.
Yeah. Fucking terrible.
What's your problem, dudes? What were you doing?
Just
knock it off.
A woman figured out a really important thing. Well, we can't give her credit for it, so let's just give it to her husband.
Yeah.
Hey, we found out a real cool way to get these watches to work. Well, all the men are at war. Let's kill the women. It's like, what?
Yeah. Can we have suits too? No.
Well, we got enough suits for us. No, there's going to be such a fucking run on them. I don't know why they're British. They're from Chicago.
Yeah, this is sounding like sounds like a bull shark.
Oi, get back on your watches. Paint your fucking dials, said the bull shark. But yeah, to end on a lighter note, holy shit, Marie Curie did a lot of wild discovering. 2 elements, 2 Nobel Prizes.
Invented some words.
Yeah. Got to study at a floating college.
Yeah, that's true.
Under clandestine conditions.
So if anybody out there knows how to join clandestine organizations, send us an email. Shoot us a DM, whatever you do. But
yeah,
how do we get in?
You can slide up into whatever you want if we can get in.
Yeah.
DMs or otherwise. Yeah, all right. Well, unless you've got anything else.
I do not.
All right.
No, it's a fun one.
Yeah. under the guise of science. Guise, always spelled Guise. You can find us on the Facebook, on the Instagram, and on the Gmail. Where else we at?
We're also on YouTube. We're on what's the other one? TikTok, and we're also on Twitter or X, whatever the hell it's called. But we are at Science Guys on there, GYC.
And again, another good follow, if for nothing else. If you don't like, if you don't mind watching someone that isn't me on this podcast get people worked up, going after strangers.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Also, listen to. Oh, sorry.
The amount of vitriol on social media I can handle just is so much lower now. Like it's
everybody's trash.
Like reading a comment section is like, at this point in my life, having dairy too close before bed. It's just like, I'm not gonna feel good after this, but I can't help myself.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's almost a morbid curiosity to see how awful the comments are. But
and they never let you down.
No, they do not. There's some things that are just like, never mind people still thinking stuff like this, but like someone thinks this at all, ever. Like, why would it, and then say it out loud, or put it out there on the internet forever. Yeah. No good examples, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Anywho, on that lovely note.
Yeah. Listen to Fartbar.
Yeah.
They will raise your spirits.
Every goddamn time. Warp Whistle.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's a good one.
See you next time. Fuck house.